Good morning everyone. How are you guys doing? Okay, welcome to the Walvis Bay Maritime Week 2024. This is the educational corner. My name is Veronica Sakaria. I work for the Namibian Ports Authority. So we have exciting speakers lined up for you guys to give you very important information, especially to the students and the general public. So please give them your undivided attention. We have speakers lined up from different companies. Our first speaker is from the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare. Our second speaker will be from the mighty NAMPORT. Our third speaker will be from NUST, Namibian University of Science and Technology. Our third speaker will be from NAMRA. Our fourth speaker will be from NAMFI. Our fifth speaker will be from Deb Marine. And our last speaker for the afternoon session will be from NAMDOC. But then we also have other sessions lined up for the afternoon. So without wasting time, please let's welcome our two speakers from the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare, Mrs. Vigo Saushini and Mrs. Kimberly Paulino. They are all our social workers. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much for the opportunity given. I'm Ms. Vigo Saushini, social worker in the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication and Social Welfare, Division Child Protection in Walvis Bay, Irongo region. So I will focus on social problems that the youth are facing, especially in Irongo region. Therefore, I will start by speaking of the social problems that the youth are facing, which are, I'll name a few that are more affecting the children or the Namibian children in general, which is teenage pregnancy, which is on the rise in schools. We have many children that are getting pregnant before age. And most of these cases that you would find are children that are underage, which are under 14. And most cases we would refer that it's statutory rape, which is children under 14, according to our Child Care Protection Act 3 of 2015, they are not able to consent to sexual relations. Teenage pregnancy is likely to affect these young teenagers or these young children in a very negative form regards to their well-being, their future. It's highly jeopardized because they need to divide their attention from the school, from the social responsibility of taking care of the children that they have brought into their lives. Therefore, it is very detrimental on the well-being of the child, not only the girl child, remember, sometimes it involves a boy child and a girl child. So they are all affected by this effect if they find themselves in such a situation. Then the next social problem that I believe, or that we believe as a ministry we are facing it most, is gender-based violence, which is high on the rise in Irongo region, but not only in Irongo region, but other regions that are concerned in Namibia, which is a social problem that is likely to affect the individual, which are our children, our families, our societies. So it is a complex problem that we are facing, or that we deal with as a ministry. And then we have the issue of alcohol and drug abuse. Learners, I'm addressing you. I would like you to focus as I address you. So when we talk about alcohol and drug abuse, and in the schools, we have high cases of vaping that is rising, that is on the rise. These are all cases that we are getting from our office that are being reported of whereby children on the school grounds, they are starting to use drugs, they start to use vaping. And then we have bullying and behavioral problems. This is a common phenomena that we have in our schools here in Irongo region, whereby schools and communities are affected by bullying, and the youth are also affected by bullying, which causes emotional distress on the children affected and the children perpetuating it. And then there is peer pressure and juvenile delinquency. This is also on the rise, whereby you would find children are being influenced by their peers to do crime in the streets, and then they find themselves in conflict with the law. And then we say they are in conflict with the justice system. And then we as social workers now come in because they are underage, and we need to recommend laser punishment or community service to deal with the issues the children are going through. And then I would like to touch on an important aspect, which is the psychological well-being of a person or of the youth. The psychological well-being, it's an important just give me a moment. The psychological well-being is an important optimal functioning that improves one's life experience as in a person, how they function. If you find yourself in social issues as a youth, then it means that your overall functioning as a person, it is minimized, or it's being put down. And then in social work, when we are dealing with these social issues, we are looking at an intervention or a method that we are using to deal with all these issues that our youth are facing, of which we are using the ecological perspective in social work. So what is the ecological perspective in simple terms? It means that these are how individuals interact with their environment, be it your friends, your family, your community, your society, where you come from. So this informs how you behave, how you carry yourself as a person. So it is very vital. When we speak about families, how is your family environment like? Is there violence? Is the family peaceful? Is there encouragement? Is there communication between you and your parents? So this goes back to the family unit. It is very important for us as parents bringing up these youth that we have to ensure that we have communication with our children, be it on the family unit, that we are able to talk about important issues that are affecting our children. Because in the end, it comes to say that raising a child involves a community, or it takes everyone to be involved. It's not only the school that has to take a role, or the social worker that has to do the counseling. It comes down to what is the foundation being built for our youth. And what is the foundation that you, the youth, are building for yourselves? In terms of your interaction, your social interaction, who do you involve yourself with? Your daily interaction determines your future. Thereof, it is your responsibility, dear youth that are sitting here today, to ensure that your social interactions are determined by choice, not by pressure from your friends or from your family or from somebody that you just see on TV. So it is important that you have a focus in your life. Therefore, I will speak about the key components of this ecological perspective that I just explained, which I've already explained a little bit in my speech just now. We have the systems theory, which involves the individual's interactions that I've already explained, the systems which are like the family, the communities, and the society at large, your school where you go to, the church that you go to. These are your social interactions as a person. Therefore, it means that a person is made up of a system. You are affiliated to different people or institutions that make you up as a person. Then we have the person in environment approach, which focuses on an individual and their environmental interaction. This still speaks back to the first point. And then the life course perspective is very pivotal in your life because it considers the experiences that you've had over your lifespan as a person. It starts from childhood, it goes to being an adolescent, it goes to old age. This will shape your development as a person, your mind, how you think, how you feel, how you talk, how you carry yourself. So it is very, very pivotal in your life. And then we talk about, when we've spoke about all these experiences, where do we come in as social workers? We come in the sense of empowerment. We ensure that individuals take control of their lives. Individuals make positive changes of their lives. Individuals are able to deal with the social ills that they are facing, the social problems that they are facing. And then we also come in sense of counseling. We do community empowerment where we do community talks. We come into the schools where we talk to you children to talk about your future, to talk about the positiveness of your future. We do the restoration of families, whereby you would find there are broken families in our societies because of the other social ills that I've mentioned earlier before, like alcohol and drug abuse, where you would find children are being neglected. And the social workers we come in terms of like finding placement for these children. And this is informed by our Child Care Protection Act 3 of 2015 that we are using as Ministry of Gender, and it's also being used by other stakeholders that are also involved in children affairs. And remember, this Child Care Protection Act 3 of 2015 that I'm speaking of, it is a very vital tool that is for you children now. It is a very vital tool. You need to know the act. What does it say? Every stakeholder needs to know what does the act say. When we speak of abuse, you are mandated by this act, any adult in Namibia, to report any abuse that you may see in your community, in your society. It is your duty to respond or to report to us, to Ministry of Gender, for us to be able to assist the Namibian child. So overall, in a nutshell, I would say that our role as social workers is very important in the society, in the community, in families, in individuals. That is where you get to see that we do offer counseling for children, be it you are going through issues such as maybe teenage pregnancy, behavioral issues, family issues that may involve alcohol and drug abuse, that may involve violence. You are free to come to our office and report, and we'll ensure we attend, and we'll ensure that you are in a family unit that is conducive. Because overall, our role is child protection. Remember, as I stated earlier, what is our division? So we are looking at a holistical perspective in terms of a child's development. So in other words, I thank you for your attention. If you, from the learners here, if there are any questions, you can be free to ask me. I'm available. And our number to call if you want to report is 064 200 208. Our office is based in Nangola Mbumba Drive at Masiza Low Chambers. So you can reach us from those two avenues. Either physically you can come to the office, or you can call that number alternatively. I thank you very much for your attention. Hope you will enjoy the rest of the Maritime week. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. That was very educational and very informative. I hope we have learned. We're gonna move on to our next speaker, which is Mr. Bikes Mashekele from Nemport. Mr. Bikes Mashekele from Nemport. Okay, Mr. Mashekele is going to speak on the enhancing port safety through risk mitigation and emergency preparedness, a factor on import operations. Please clap hands for Mr. Mwashekele. Thank you.
Thank you. Is it good morning or good afternoon? Anyway, I would like to engage with you, ne? You must talk to me, and I will talk to you. All right. As introduced, my name is Bikes Moshikele. I'm part of the risk management team at NAMPOD. So just to start off, you know what in what sea we operate in as NAMPOD? Do you know in what sea we operate from as a company? We operate from the Atlantic Ocean. You know that, right? And all our customers, all our clients, most of them are international customers. You know what international is? Excuse me? International is everybody that is from everywhere. The Europe, the Americas, the Asians, ne? All right, meaning we have a route, like a road we have from Windhoek to Walvis Bay, like the route we have in the air from wherever to Namibia, we have a route on sea, right through Walvis Bay and Ludretz. You know we have two ports in Namibia, right? The port of Ludretz and the port of Walvis Bay. All right? Now, these two ports are connecting the land of the brave to the world. All right? And that's where we do business, import and export. You know what export is? Export is goods that are going out, right? Do you know what goods we get out of this country? The what? The fish, okay. Food, anything to eat, maybe? Grapes? You know about house and gear, right? We get grapes out of the country, all right? And then we have minerals, right? That also goes out of this country, yeah? Like what? Copper? Diamonds? So you can actually tell that NAMPOD is a big player when it comes to enhancing the economy and adding value to the economy of Namibia, right? Okay. So now it is important that we have measures that safeguard everything we do, all right? Now, Namibia, like when it comes to crime, there is a body called UNODC, making sure that when it comes to trafficking, what is the trafficking that you know? Up and down in the country and out of the country. Human trafficking. Yeah? You guys can get lost quickly here and your parents will not know where you are because you have been kidnapped out of the country. Now, there is a body that makes sure that that does not happen. And we have the Ministry of Defense also, that patrols our coastline all the time to make sure that illegal activities does not happen. All right? So, what part of the Ministry of Defense is that? Do you know? The Navy. That's right. They are just around the corner here, and then you can actually go and check what exactly they do and how they keep prepared and ready to actually give their services at all times when it's required. All right? Right. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is when it comes to emergency preparedness. You remember COVID-19? COVID-19, right? Now, when COVID-19 happened, NAMPOD issued a memo to all the players, the big players, the ship owners, everybody involved in engaging with NAMPOD, to make sure that everybody is on the same page when it comes to COVID-19. What we did was we communicated to say every ship that reports to NAMPOD must have certain, must comply to certain requirements to make sure that we don't spread the corona unbeknown to us. So, and the same thing, anything that can happen that might be disastrous, NAMPOD is ready to actually engage all the main players so that we are ready for any possible disaster that might occur. And we have also bodies like, for instance, should there be, like the municipality of Walvis Bay, even the community, when it comes to fires and stuff like that, NAMPOD has a fire truck that from time to time they make it also available. Should there be fires even in the community, NAMPOD can actually get involved in attending to these things that can cause people harm and bring poverty to people in the community and in the country. So we have also, as a company, we have a system that we maintain and we are audited every year. It is an ISO certification. We make sure that health and safety, we comply to the international standards. All right? And the same way when COVID was happening, NAMPOD also engaged the Ministry of Health and Safety and Social Security, how do you call that ministry? Health and Social, that ministry. So to make sure that whatever cases we had was reported to the ministry, and the ministry knew exactly what measures we have in place. And obviously the ministry was assisting to ensure that COVID was not spreading at a rapid rate. All right. Any question you may have for me? Any question? No question? From what school are you from? Hey? Flamingo High. Oh, same school. All right. Anyway, if there is no questions, thank you very much. Yes, sir. Should, boss, should. All right, the careers opportunities at NAMPOD are vast and diverse. All right, because of the business we're in, firstly, we have a department called the Marine Department, Marine. The Marine, this is the week for what? Why are we here? This is a Maritime week, ne? Okay. Now, NAMPOD is a main sponsor of this whole event because of this one reason. Marine is our business. Marine is actually what happens on the sea marine is regulated by IMO, International Maritime Organization. All right? Now, it requires that for us to operate on an international level, we must have marine engineers, and we must have pilots. I will explain now exactly what these people are doing and the qualifications they must have to actually perform these tasks. And then obviously what we call the general workers, but they have a specific name for it. You have to be trained at NAMFI. NAMFI supply these courses for you to actually be able to work in the marine department. Okay, firstly, the captain is the one that heads the department. He must have a Cat 1, Cat 1 certification. It is issued by South Africa. But before he gets that, he must go through a training that they attend in South Africa. At the moment, unfortunately, the training can only be done in South Africa. And Namibia is in the process of actually making sure that those courses are also available at NAST and UNAM and IUM and those institutions. The same with the engineers. They also go through the same training, and I think they start with Cat 5, and then Cat 4, Cat 3, Cat 1 is the highest. We, in the longest time, we have the first black Namibian who's the captain of the Marine Department. In the past, we used to have Russians running the department, but now we are we're moving away from that to have only Namibians. So I think Marine is a very good department, is a very good career for anybody. If you love to work on the sea, if you love to operate the equipment on the sea, because we have tugs. Tugs is like a taxi. It goes and it gets the vessel out of deep sea and bring it into the port. That's what the tugs are doing. And the tugs are operated by people that are qualified. Yes. Now the vessels can never comes to the port by itself, because the maritime regulations dictate that we, the numbered people, we, the numbered people, must take the responsibility, must own that vessel when it comes into the port, for safety reasons and liability reasons. So that's why we have pilots. They go in. There is a limit where the captain of the vessel can stop, and then our pilot goes and they get on the vessel and they bring it in, and the same way it leaves, our pilot takes it out to a certain limit, and the captain of the vessel takes over and they leave. That's how we do it. Yes, that's what I say, port limit. I don't know, I think 40 nautical miles is more or less the distance from the port to the port limit. It's like all the vessels, when you drive to Swakopmund, you see vessels standing, they actually queuing up to come in. And there is a way. We have a place called port control, where the officers are in contact with the captain of the vessel. We know exactly when the vessel comes in, what is on that vessel, and the vessel get told when to come in. When it is, and vessels bring in different things like guns, ammunitions, flammable stuff, dangerous goods that can cause all kinds of problems to us. So that's why we must know what is on the vessel, how many crew are on the vessels, what time are they coming in, and we dictate when they come in. And that is also part of the measures of making sure that our port remains safe. All right? Coming in?
How many points are required to be a marine engineer?
Speaking under correction, I think 32 will be enough. If not 24, 25. Whatever the institution asks for, ne? Whatever the institution asks for, that's one. I'm not very familiar with that, but all I can tell you is the better marks you have, the better it is for you to get in, right? Because the competition is tough. The competition is tough, and he's right. I think the minimum is 25, but from there, anything goes, right? What grade are you now? Aha. We wait for you. 2 more years. The fishing industry.
Does Namport also work with the fishing industry?
Yes. Remember, we have a cold storage at our facilities at Namport. And berth 4 and 5 is allocated for fishing vessels that brings in the fish from the harvest grounds from the sea. And everybody else that wants to go buy fish gets it from there. So yes, Namport facilitate for the fish load and offload, load and offload. But that's where it ends. Remember, Namport does not deal in fish. Yeah? Namport is not, if you want fish, you don't come to Namport, okay? You go to fish shops, fish companies. But it comes through Namport. Yes. And I just want you to know that we got different vessels coming in. Like cars have parking areas. We have what we call berthing. We have berthing 1 to 11. 1 to 3 is for containers, ne? And 4 to 5 is for fishing vessels. And then 5 to 8 is for break bulk. Break bulk is everything that is in bags, all right? That comes in or going out. You know, like salt, we have salt that also goes out, sugar that goes out. From time to time, wheat comes in, and okay, weed. Yeah, not weed that you smoke, is weed that that is used to make wheat bix and those things. All right? Yeah. So that is Namport. We are facilitators. All right. We make sure that business happens. All right. Any other question? Yeah. Hey? Diesel mechanics. Yes. You want to become a diesel mechanic? Good. I am originally a tradesman. I understand that. And we will always need tradesmen, you know, because not only diesel mechanics, we have actually a workshop, because we got buses, we got vehicles, we got equipment that transport containers up and down, you know, trailers. So those things need to be maintained, and that's where diesel mechs comes in. And diesel mechs are trained, you know where you are trained, named vocational training centers and stuff like that. Yes. But anyway, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for listening. Have a good day and enjoy your Maritime Week. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Mashekele. It's too loud. I think it's too loud. I think we still have, school learners. You guys can come and have a seat. Can you ask those school learners at the back to come and have a seat, please? Good morning, good morning. How are you guys? What school are you guys from? Oh, okay, okay. Are you coming from the port tour? Oh, okay. Are they still gonna attend the port tour? Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, maybe after. Okay, we will continue with our educational talk program. Next on the list is Mrs. Caribbean Mombola Emilius from NAST. May you please welcome her as she comes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mrs. Caribbean Emilius, and I'm from NAST under the Corporate Engagement Department, that is the Public Relations Department. So we've got approximately 4 faculties. That's Faculty of Commerce, Human Sciences, Education, Human Sciences and Education, Faculty of Computing and Informatics, Engineering and Building Environment, Health, Natural Resources, and Applied Sciences. So within the Faculty of Commerce, Human Sciences and Education, we have courses such as Economics, Public Management, Training and Vocational Education. That is for artisans. Artisans are electricians, plumbers, and so on. Under that same faculty, we've got 4 different institutions. That's the CED Center, which is Center for Enterprise Development. That's for international certifications in Cisco and crash courses such as the graphics design and web development. We've got the NGCL, the Namibian German Logistics Center. We've got the Harold Popkowitz Graduate School of Business. That's the Master's Program Center. And NGIL, that's the Namibian German Institute of Logistics, which is mainly focused on procurement and logistics. We've also got the Foreign Language and National Language Center. This center mainly focuses on those that would like to study a certain foreign language for business purposes. We've got Portuguese, French, Spanish, English, and the national languages are Oshkwanyama, Ochiherero, and Afrikaans. So within the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, we have courses such as Journalism and Media Technology, as well as Computer Science. With Computer Science, your career path would be information technology, which is IT. We've got within the, Faculty of Engineering and Building Environment, we've got industrial, mechanical engineering, as well as mining engineering. We've got geoinformatics and architecture. In the Department of Health and Natural Sciences, we've got biomedical sciences, that's lab work. Natural resources, that would be game rangers. The university has about 52 degree programs, 4 undergraduate diplomas, 3 postgraduate diplomas, 1 certificate in procurement, that's an advanced certificate, 1 postgraduate diploma. We've also got about 27 master's programs in between the 4 faculties and 6 PhD programs. We've got bridging courses, namely in STEM, that's Introduction to Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. These are for kids pursuing careers in information technology, engineering, architecture, and so on. And then we've got non-STEM, that's for those who would like to pursue careers in human sciences, that's humanities, whether it be communication studies, economics, chartered accountancy, or just normal accountancy. We've got 3 types of applications. That's mature age, that's for those that don't meet the requirement for the normal undergraduate intake, so you have to be 23 years old and above. This specific one was specifically meant for those that didn't have an opportunity to further their studies, and then they still get that opportunity, or they get that opportunity later on in life. This also is specifically meant for those, I'd say, pre-independence folks who at the time or before independence they weren't able to study. This is not specifically, but it's also for them. Then we have undergraduate, the undergraduate's application, that's fresh out of high school, you guys, as well as anyone that doesn't hold a bachelor's degree. Lastly, we have the postgraduate, that's for degree holders. So that's for someone that has obtained their bachelor's degree and would like an honors or a master's or anything beyond that. So we've got 3 satellite campuses. That's one in Enana, that's up north, one in Luderitz for postgraduate studies, and one in Rietfontein. This one is specifically for those majoring in agriculture and horticulture. We've got 1 main campus, that's in Windhoek, and we've got regional centers we've got several regional centers, I think in 13 regions out of 14. In Walvis Bay, our center can be found in Naravel, Naravel municipality on the top floor. Any questions? Oh, sorry, to answer your question, you need 35 points to study any kind of engineering. So you have to have 35 points. You should have, your highest grade should be in mathematics, physics, or chemistry, and D-symbol in English. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Caribbean. We will move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is from Namra. That will be Mr. Paul Ndelelwa. No, sorry, Mr. Ndelelwa is not here. That will be Mr. Alfred Muhinda. Please welcome Mr. Alfred Muhinda. And please feel free to ask questions. Ask questions.
Good morning, everyone. Our moderator has already introduced me. So my name is Alfred Muhinda for NAMRA. I'm Senior Customs and Excise Officer at the Port of Walvis Bay. So I'm going to talk about the role of customs in the supply chain. So at the end of my presentation or the discussion, I'm expecting that a number of you would then develop much love to become customs and excise officer, and also that you be able to understand our role. So to begin with, customs is an entity of government that is mandates, operates on the Custom Excise Act 20 of 1998 with huge responsibility. But I'm also going now to let you know that customs is always strategically positioned or located at various port of entry. So there was somebody who was here before me from Namport. This is the harbor. So you will likely, or you must going to meet customs at every entry point, every gazetted entry point in Namibia. Now, what is our role as customs? This is very interesting for you. We facilitate legitimate trade. When I'm talking about trade, I'm talking about global trade, end-to-end movement of goods. All these that you see within the country are goods that are coming from various countries, and some are even coming from our country going outside. And it goes and it is regulated or processed by various procedures. So goods coming in the country are called imports, and the goods that leaves the countries are called exports. And there is also those that transit. As you can see, we've got different corridors. The Trans-Kalahari corridor, for example, goods would arrive at the port of Walvis Bay and cleared through customs, and then they transport or carried over to another country. Okay? So, now let me talk about the very important aspect of our presence there. Protection of the society is key. We need to protect you with respect to the movement of goods and people. So we're very careful of what comes into the country here. We will not allow anything that is not allowed, such as illegal things, such as drugs. And while we control that, we collect appropriate revenue for the state, because tax is due to who? To the state. Okay. Now, I'll come now to the main topic now that we're here for, our role into logistics. Maybe one would also ask a question, what is logistics? So logistics is a broad term. To be honest, it's a broad term and a broad topic. It involves a number of activities and different key role players. So logistics would always mean the movement of goods through various sections or various places, so from the beginning up to the end. And through logistics, then you find what is called supply chain. Who knows a chain? A chain? Do we know a chain? A chain is the interlink. So it holds from one end to another. So we hold at the chain. So it's called a supply chain. So supply chain is the movement of goods down the flow stream from suppliers to the buyers. So for the goods to move from one point or point A to point B, C, D, it needs to be regulated. And that's where we come in. So goods are coming now from manufacturers, distributors, and then taken through the customs borders, because they have to pass. Remember I told you that goods are moving from different countries. And as positioned here in Namport or here in Walvis Bay, we receive goods from various countries, such as the UK, goods coming from America, goods coming from China. So we are a global body. So we facilitate trade. We make sure that those goods and we apply necessary control for your benefit or for the benefits of the country. Now, in the supply chain itself cannot be complete if there is no specialization or people that knows. Because remember, the purpose of the supply chain, as our topic says, our role of customs, logistics and supply chain, the purpose of the supply chain is to tape down the costs, to reduce or to minimize costs down the flow stream. Imagine if you have the goods now coming from Walvis Bay, going, for example, South Africa, there would be much cost because they involve clearance, distribution, packaging, somebody that was going to drive the goods. And if you don't have people that knows the supply chains and who are not specialized in the industry, you are likely to lose a lot of money. So the purpose of the supply chain is to tape the costs down. Then you have an effective supply chain. And the supply chain must also have important aspects. Supply chain visibility. We must be able to know the movement of goods from the source to the end. And supply chain visibility today is made easy by tracking. Who knows what is to track the goods, the movement of goods? Have you heard of somebody saying tracking the goods? Those who are receiving parcel through Namport, you'll be having a tracking number and you'll be able to know, all my goods have left China and now they're in this country and now the goods have arrived. Okay? Because we need to have visibility down the flow stream. And now, the other component of the supply chain is lead time. Who knows what is lead time? You know time? You know time? Or what is time? Maybe just to make it simple for you, lead time is the expectation or the time, the duration between the movement of goods from the suppliers to the owner of the goods. And the very important aspect of supply chain is that goods need to be delivered to the right place in good condition. Okay? Now, our role now as custom here, while the goods move from places to place, we collect appropriate revenue through legitimate trade. And I must emphasize and say, legitimate trade. We don't want dubious trade, and we don't do trade where there's no documentation. So we would ask you, who is the supplier, who's buying the goods, and what is the value of the goods, and who uses the goods, so that we can be able now to collect the appropriate. When I say appropriate revenue, we don't just take revenue maybe to overprice or to collect too much. If you give too much, we'll tell you, no, this is too much, we only need to pay this amount. So that's appropriate revenue. So the one that we need, the one that is accurate. So our role here is to facilitate the trade. Everything that we have here, what we are wearing here, I don't know if they are manufactured within Namibia, but most of the stuff are imported. So today you have an opportunity to know where they are coming from and how they are treated. Now, coming to the career path. As you know that customs begins now to involve international trade. So you will need to understand that you need to study this to understand. So at the university, if you take comments, it might just help you to become one of the customs officers and be ready to protect, and you must love your country, that anything that comes in the country here is controlled. So in other way, we are controlling the movement of goods, end-to-end movement of goods. From the beginning here, we want them to reach there, but they should be done in the right procedure so that nothing else is concealed or hidden in to come and harm the society. I'll give an example. Who eats chicken? Who eats chicken? You don't eat chicken? You eat? Okay. Now, when chicken is imported, we have a pivotal role to make sure that the chicken is declared correctly. And we don't only operate on ourselves, we've got a number of stakeholders. Alongside customs, we work with state vet, who goes to check the regulation of temperature, the packaging date, the expiry date. Why do we do that? We don't want our society to be harmed. So you see the role that custom now plays, that we are here for you while we collect revenue for the states to plan developmental activities, we also protect you as a society. So, like I said from the beginning, after the end of this presentation, I'm going to see many hands of you learners wanting to take the career path of doing something related to customs. Okay? Now, this is the Maritime Week. Maritime would mean anything related to transportation or movement or associated with the sea. All these goods that I'm talking about here, they come by various modes of transport. Who knows any mode of transport that goods are conveyed with? Any mode of transport? Any mode of transport? A hand up, yes? Boat, ship. Very good, thank you. That's nice. Ships are the ones that are bringing the cargo, okay? If you go in Namport, you'll find the ship. That is a mode of transport that we are also now working on to get these goods be received in Namibia. So we work with various modes of transport such as sea, as he made mention, roads, air, if you've been to the airport, post office, okay, rail, if there was an international railway connecting Namibia. So all those modes of transport are what we work with. So now, as the Maritime Week, I want to just touch a little bit on the topic of maritime. As goods are moving now into the country by sea, which is maritime, you must understand that as a coastal state, Namibia is a coastal state, you have also different areas or different areas of jurisdiction. So Namibia is now a party to the convention. I'm not sure if you know the convention that is called UNCLOS. UNCLOS, United Nations Convention on the Laws of the Sea. So it regulates the countries that are party to that. So now, when you cruise from Namibia here at the coastal state, you go and then you cruise 12 nautical miles into the sea. That is called the territorial water of Namibia, okay? 12 nautical miles is territorial water. Again, when you add another 12 nautical mile, it's called the contiguous zone. Okay, it is our water, but you must know those sedimentation of the sea. And then from there we've got 200 nautical mile, which is called the exclusive economic zone. Okay? So from there we have international water and high seas. So you see, it's such an interesting subject to talk about. So custom does not only focus on maybe other simple things here, but globally we focus on things that are very, very important and very educational. So I'm quite sure that you would want to do my job sometime when I retire, or maybe to work with me. So let me not take much of the time and give you an opportunity if you have a question. Yes, please. I see a question there.
You said you guys, you collect the revenue, right?
Yes.
So now what are the key components do you guys, that help you to see what type of revenue that you, have to charge? Because you said you only charge, affordable, so which key components do you guys look at so you charge the revenue?
That's a wonderful question. Can we give him a round of applause, please? Good. When goods comes in the country, there are key factors that we look at. And I'm not sure if I'm going too deep into this, but the key components that governs or where customs operates in, number one, we look at the origin of the goods. So the heartbeat of customs is based on three important aspects. The origin of the goods, where are the goods coming from? Okay, what is the value of the goods? Second, origin, value of the goods. And then we have documents or books which we call the classification, that we are able to know what kind of goods you're bringing. For example, if you import a car, your car is going to be declared under chapter, depends on the engine capacity, is going to be declared under chapter 87032390, which is likely to charge 20% of the custom duty. So if you give me that, you tell me your car was valued at 50,000 Namibian dollar, and we multiply it with 20%, then we're able to know the custom duty. If you know mathematics and calculator, you'll be able to know that your duties on that car would be maybe 11,000. And then you pay value add tax, which is VAT, on those goods. So we have books that are governing us, that help us to be able to code the goods nicely, so that we do not rob you and you don't rob us, and we collect appropriate revenue for the state. I just want to touch, when I said origin of the goods, I said customs. But when goods are coming from the common custom area, which is called SACU. Any one of you have heard of SACU? You have not heard of SACU? So SACU, it is a common custom area that involves 5 countries: Namibia, Botswana, Lesotho, Swaziland, and South Africa. If you purchase any of the goods from that country, you pay no duties. You only pay VAT. So you understand that that's how customs work. So there are privileges that pertains to the original or the origin of the product. So not only that, but also goods that come from different countries, different countries, they are also treated different by bilateral and multilateral agreements. So we are a global organization, and we operate with other international organizations such as the World Customs Organization, WCO, and World Trade Organization, and negotiating partners for trade. So as also in airline, we have got negotiating partners such as IATA, Organization of International Air Transport. On passengers, you have ICAO, civil aviation, So it's all negotiating partner, but customs will be present at every entry point to make sure that we're there to control the movement of goods and facilitate trade and protection of society as we collect appropriate revenue for the states. This ends my presentation, unless if there's another. Oh yeah, very interesting. There's another one again.
So now the revenue, do you charge on the supplier or on the buyer?
We charge on the buyer, because the supplier just supplies and the buyer has interest to bring the goods here into the country. So we don't see the supplier. The supplier is international. So the buyer buys the goods and imports. So when they come into our territory here into Namibia, then as I made mention that tax is due to nobody else but government. But I just know whose government? It's you, and me, and everyone here. We are the government. So we collect on your behalf, because others also does. And I must mention this, that we, not only ourselves, but we play also a complementary role with other organizations and stakeholders such as NAMPORT, Immigration, Police, Port Health Authority, State Vet, Forestry. So it's a number of governmental organizations that we work alongside. But I'm now curious to know, which school do you come from or are attending?
I'm from Flamingo Secondary School.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So that ends my presentation. And after its end of the presentation, I want to know who now wants to become custom excise officer. Still nobody. Why? Because it's complicated or what? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Muhinda. Learners, we still have more speakers lined up for you. I also just want to announce that NAMPORT is also providing port tours to the public. There's buses outside, so if you would like to go in the port, see what we do inside, you are more than welcome to join the buses. So the port tours will be today and tomorrow. We're still going to have port tours tomorrow. Let's continue with our educational talk. Our next speaker is from Namfi, and it will be Mrs. Mary Manyando. She's going to tell us She's going to give you careers that are available at NAMFI if you would like to go study at NAMFI. Welcome.
Hello, 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 everyone. How are you? Good, good. My name is Mary Manyando, just as it was introduced. I'm the head of Department for Maritime Safety at the Namibia Maritime and Fisheries Training Institute, NAMFI. So my talk here today is quite simple. I'm just here to tell you why you should study at NAMFI. And I'm not saying this simply because I work at NAMFI. Oh no. I'm telling you this because of the wonderful and abundant opportunities that await you if you do study with us. However, before I do that, let me just tell you a little bit about our institution. NAMFI is a tertiary training institution, just like any other. The only difference is that we specialize. We only do marine courses. We were established in 1996, so we have been in existence for many, many years. In fact, I can tell you right now with certainty that most people who work in the maritime and fisheries sectors have studied at NAMFI. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you that the courses that we offer are relevant to the industry. They were relevant then, and they are still relevant now. Our graduates have built successful maritime careers. They've built successful businesses based on the fact that they did study with us. So what exactly made them choose NAMFI as their preferred training institution, you would ask? I think they chose NAMFI for one simple reason. We are good at what we do. We are the best in this business. We are Namibia's #1 Maritime and Fisheries Training Institute. And that is not even up for debate. It's actually a fact. It shows in the output of graduates that we have produced. And this is why today I'm here to also encourage you to actually study with us. So what exactly do we offer at NAMFI? We offer a world-class curriculum that is based on international standards. We also offer you a fully fledged campus, wonderful hostel facilities, as well as fully fledged workshops. At NAMFI, we are more than a training institute. We are a place where your passion for the sea can transform into a wonderful maritime career. Now, I'm not here to talk a lot. I actually brought our graduates with us. NAMFI will be hosting its graduation on the 18th of October 2024. With me, I brought our cum laude graduates, not just any graduate, cum laude. Now, anybody will tell you to get a cum laude recognition in maritime studies is not an easy feat. However, these two young ladies managed to get that feat. I have with me Frida Gabriel, who will graduate with a diploma in marine navigation, and Christian Ipinge, who will graduate with a diploma in marine engineering. So they'll come here and they'll tell you, you'll hear from the horse's mouth, why did they choose to study at NAMFI and what their experience of studying at NAMFI has been. So on that note, help me welcome our cum laude graduates. Give them a hand, please.
Thank you for this chance that I'm given. My name is Christian Ipinge, a graduate of cum laude in marine engineering from the Namibian Maritime and Fishery Institute. I joined this institute last year, which has been always my dream to study marine engineering. Now I was looking around, where am I going to study this? At NAST, they don't offer it. At UNAM, they don't offer it. So I came across this wonderful institution, which I decided to apply and focus on what I want to become one day in life. So when I started at NAMFI, the environment was quite amazing. I was introduced to the theory part of engineering as well as the practical part of engineering, whereby during the day, from 8 to 12, I'll be having theory classes, and then in the afternoon, I'll be having practical classes of marine engineering. Marine engineering is the study of ship designing, ship construction, as well as ship maintenance. You need to know how to design the ship, to construct it and also to maintain it. By maintaining it means by operating it, repairing it, and making sure all the machinery on board are operating nice, functioning properly. This environment of Namfi has really brought me back, like I'm at home, because Namfi is a family. It's a very wonderful place. And we have created like a very good bond with our management, with our lecturers, and everyone on campus. So my experience in the Maritime Academy has been transformative, blending and technical training with hand experiencing on board a vessel. Each day bring new challenges, from mastering complex machinery to understanding the environment impact of our work. The command among the peers and the mentorship from the seasoned professional has fostered a profound respect for this field, reinforcing commitment and contribution to the maritime practice. So I would really encourage you guys to take up maritime courses and maritime industry, because this industry is very versatile and there are so many opportunities that are yet to be discovered in Namibia. So my encouragement to every student out there, every learner out there, make your dream come true through NAMFI. Is the only institution in Namibia as we speak that offer marine navigation and marine engineering trainings. So on that note, I am happy to represent my school. I'm happy to represent my family, because NAMFI will always be home for me. Even after graduating this, if I have to come back and lecture, if I have to come back and do anything for NAMFI, I'll not look otherwise, I'll do it. Because this is the institution that made me who I am, who I'm standing here, and I'm feeling proud of myself for making this happen for myself, for my family, as well as for friends, and also for my school. NAMFI will always be my pride. I love that school so much. So I'm gonna give the chance to the cum laude graduate in navigation diploma.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Frida Gabriel. I'm a diploma graduate from NAMFI, Namibian Maritime and Fisheries Institute. Upon completing school, I wasn't sure what field I should venture into. Most of my peers were going to NAST, UNAM, many branched into medicine, some were focusing on law. Growing up, I had a passion to maybe one day become a doctor, or maybe try the law, or maybe become a teacher. But when I go to AS level, the uncertainty settled on me. So I suddenly developed a passion just to find or discover something new, because everyone was just running to UNAM, and I didn't want to do what everyone is doing. I had an uncle who had stayed in here for long, then he suggested NAMFI to me. I didn't know what NAMFI was at that time. So I am from the northern part of Namibia, Ongwediva. Moving here was a bit challenging, you know, living home, you're on your own, and I've never been in hostel during my school years. Coming to NAMFI, I eventually got acquainted to the environment, the surrounding, new people, new place. It has been a wonderful experience for me because we had the best lecturers. We had all the resources on campus. We didn't lack anything. So what is marine navigation? Marine navigation is the art and the science of steering and maneuvering the vessels through waters. Did you ever wonder how you got your different products from overseas, from your iPhones to your overseas clothing to other products? It's through the safe navigation of vessels through the waters. And if we didn't have the focused captains and deck officers with a passionate heart for these jobs, we'll not be having everything, because there'll be accidents at sea and pollutions and all that. So we thank NAMFI for bringing this to us in form of education, because at NAMFI, we learn how to be sincere deck officers, how to have passion for our jobs, and also how to not just focus on remuneration, but to have the people and the nation at heart, because the maritime industry greatly contributes to the GDP of the nation. In marine navigation at NAMFI, we learn chart and route planning, navigation equipment maintenance, watchkeeping, communications, and safety compliance, whereby we have rules of the road, the call regs, and all that. In a deck officer training or nautical studies, for you to become a deck officer, you have to study nautical science, where you learn navigation and ship handling, the safe operation of a ship, and also shipboard administration and handling of cargoes. So I would like to encourage you guys to venture in the maritime industry, and mostly girls, because this industry has been run by men, and power to the women. Women empowerment should take over also in the maritime industry. Thank you very much.
I mean, the eloquence. You can tell that we are the best at what we do. You can hear from our graduates. From the horse's mouth, you heard for yourselves. So I'm hoping we'll be seeing some of you here next year. I'm hoping some of you will come to our campus and you'll join the maritime and fisheries industry. Thank you for listening, and thank you. Bye.
Just a quick question. What are the qualifications for someone to get admitted at an institution? Do they need a grade 10 or a grade 12, and how many points?
Oh, perfect. 25 points in 5 subjects. The subjects of interest, of course, is physics, mathematics, and English, a C symbol or better. Grade 11 or 12? Yes. So you are welcome to come to our stand. We have all the information there, and we can explain all the application processes and the admission requirements and everything. So please do visit our stand. All right, thank you.
Thank you, ladies from NAMFI. We move on to our next speaker. We have Deb Marine. Mr. Lowe, is your turn. Please, let's welcome him.
Okay, thank you. Hi, learners. I'm going to change the setup a little bit. Okay, so my name is Dion. Let me start it the right way. I'm Dion Lowe. I'm working for Deb Marine Namibia. I'll stand behind you. The reason why you are here is hopefully to find a career or think about a career, even if you are at this young age. So we have quite a lot of career paths. Although we are a diamond recovery company, not mining, recovery. And I'll explain to you a little bit, but what I want you to do is, while I go through the presentation, I want to see you somewhere in that picture or story, whatever you want to say. So we have a book, which is at our stand, and I just want to go through it a little bit. Just to give you a little bit of context, we have 7 vessels, which is on the sea most of the time. So, just give me a second, yeah. We have approximately 1,200, 1,300 personnel, which include contractors. Our main office is in Windhoek, but most of our personnel is working at sea. So we have human resources, we have internal auditing, we have mineral resources, we have IT or information technology. We have, from an operational point of view, which is very, very important for us, marine safety. And within that, we also have, we have safety officers, occupational health, production engineers, logistics, mineral processing engineers, electrical engineers. We have on the vessels, which we operate, we have vessel masters, there's chief navigation officers, second navigation officers, the whole bunch of them, and a lot of engineers as well. And and I can continue for quite a long time. But I want you to, or I want to invite you to our vessel now. So I hope you understand, and I'll take you to our stand and I will explain to you, and you have to see yourself as I go through. At some places I might sit a little bit longer, in other places I will just scan or just quickly go through that. So thank you. So I'll take you now to our stand to see more or less our operations, although we wanted to represent the environment story for you. Okay, thank you. Come on, guys, let's go. So thank you. Come closer. Come closer. So for us to operate in the area where we work, we are situated, or our vessel is situated close to the Orange River. You know where the Orange River is? The Orange, you know where Oranjemund is? Oranjemund. So close to Oranjemund, but just in an offshore direction. There's another company, our sister company, Namdeb. They are operating at the coast. So we're operating a little bit offshore, but not at a depth, or not deeper than 150 meters, so approximately 90 meters and 140, 150 meters under the water, or in the not in the water column, but the sea bottom. So for us to operate, we need a little bit of information, or we need an environmental clearance certificate. And this is given by Ministry of Environment, Forestry, Tourism. So before we can operate, we need this. The second thing, it's not a requirement, but because we want to do the right thing. We've also been ISO 14001, which is an international standard, and sort of tell us, whenever they come to us, that the standard that we follow is internationally acceptable, and we are measured against that standard. We also have an environmental policy. This is by Deb Marine, and we review this every year, so that the information that you can read, you can come back, you can read about it, and what sort of guides us also in what we are doing. When was NAMDEP formed? Okay, NAMDEP, as I said, is our sister company. We are Deb Marine. No problem. So, Deb Marine. When was it formed? It was formed around, guys, it was formed, I'll find out for you, and then back to that one. Okay. So let's go a little bit to the operations. So this is the two methods that we use to drill or to find diamonds. So let me start from this side. This is, we have a drilling tool, or the drilling method, which is just literally at the bottom as you can see, this what this is showing. It's like a drill. So it just goes down into the seafloor, and it drills, and then it sucks out the sediment. But we don't go further than half a meter, maybe sometimes 0.75 meters. So this is about this high. Sorry, do I have to?
Okay, after drilling at the seafloor, what do you find?
You find the not overburden, the wall. What do you call it? At the end of the seafloor, after drilling, at the bottom, footwall. That's what they call it. It's literally just. Different type of material where we know there's no diamonds in.
What are the materials?
Sorry?
Material.
The materials, what do you mean materials? Sorry.
Like what source do you find?
It's, it's sediment, boulders, cobbles, and so that's the material, and in between you will find the diamonds. So do you understand?
What do you use those resources for?
Sorry?
The resources that you find, what do you use them for?
What do we use diamonds for?
Yes.
Normally it's been sold on the market, and then the people who normally buys that, they will create diamond rings and earrings and maybe necklaces. So yeah, so that's the resource that we're dealing with. So this is just one method. The other method is what we call a crawler. And as you can see, the size of it, it's big. And it goes also, you put it down at the seafloor, and it has, as the drill, has this big pipe that brings all the material that is sucked up onto the vessel. And there we have screens, and where we separate the big stuff, like your big boulders and things, we separate it there, and we only keep the diamonds. So 99% of the material that comes on board is put back into the sea again. So we only, even less than 1% of what we take out of the sea, it's what we actually keep. It's the diamonds. That's the ones that we're going to sell. Okay. Okay, good.
So what are the courses like at NAMDEB for me?
Deb Marine.
Yeah, Deb Marine. What courses can I apply?
What courses can you do? Oh, there's a variety of courses. As I said when I started my presentation, that I'd like you to find yourself in. So what do you think? What do you need to be able to, for example, to operate this, or to be able to work on a vessel? Yeah. Some of these vessels are like our biggest vessel is 170 meters long. So it needs engineers. It needs your people who's driving the vessel, so the captain of the vessel, and there's different, as I said, different engineers, there's boiler makers, etc. on the vessel. So those are the people that operates and drives the vessel. Good. So let me take you to this slides. So because we operate and we know that we have an impact on our environment because of our activities that we are doing there, we have a monitoring program. So this is where the scientists are involved. So we have marine scientists as well. So, and they have a program where they look at the seafloor, and they have different instruments, for example, from a vessel to get sediment from the seafloor. And we call, for example, this one a Van Veen grab, which is just a tool which if you lower it into the water column, remember we, as human beings at this depth, we can't go and dive. We go down with this instrument and we take a sample, sand sample, bring it up to the vessel, and then we sieve it out and we remove just the animals. And we take it to the laboratory where we identify that until species level. Okay. You've heard about species, you must have done biology. Good. Then we have another instrument which we just call a drop camera. Also lower it into the bottom of the seafloor. And we just take pictures, and I will tell you a little bit later about what this instrument can do. We have another instrument called CTD, or it just stands for conductivity, temperature, and density. So what it does is actually just profiling. So I'm going to tell you what profiling means. So as it goes in the water column down, it measures, for example, temperature. So it gives you a profile of the temperature up to the bottom. And of course, you need the scientists afterwards to go and analyze that data. And you would like to see what that environment is doing to your organisms that you are studying. I'm not going to bore you quite with all the detail. Up to now, we have 268 species. Just in the part, just where we are operating, which we call Atlantic 1. But around the world, you will find many, many more species. I think there's approximately more than 6,000 species. And some of them have not even been identified. Okay. So, and this is all about the biodiversity of the animals. You can ask me a question. You want to ask a question?
Yeah, what are the equipment that you can use?
The equipment?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like the...
Don't be shy.
The equipment, like the, I'm going to say the objects or something.
So as we showed here in this, we have different instruments that we use. So we have the grab, or Van Veen grab. You have a drop camera. You have a CTD with different sensors on it. And we also have a ski monkey, which is just a system which we drag behind the vessel with a high definition camera and with very strong light, and with a video through the area which we operated and sometimes places where we haven't operated, just to look and see what is the impact. Okay? I will not explain this to you. Can we leave this and then we go to something else? So, sorry, excuse me. So, what do we do in terms of our sustainability? And I'm going to talk to both this slides and those slides which you see behind you. Maybe I'll start with that one, and you can go afterwards quickly to. So, as a scientist, one of the highlights is that you have to produce papers or manuscripts. So because we're working with all these organisms, some, as I've mentioned, some of them has not been identified yet. And that's one of the species that has been identified. And you can see from the name, Nino namibiensis, where it was found. So found in our area, first time described in our area. And last year we brought out a paper. There's a second paper also, but you can go and read about that as well. I'm not going to go into details there. Good. So what do we do also? We also reach out to the community or to our stakeholders. So whatever we do, for example, we have these outreach programs, like what we do now. We're reaching out to children, also other stakeholders, of course. Clean up campaigns, and every year, all the species that we've identified, we bring them back to Namibia. Hello. And then we donate them to the universities, museums, and even to Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources. and they can continue with research. Okay. Yeah, they can also basically research it. So I'm going to stop for a little here, and I would like you to ask me questions. I went through quite a lot of things which I've mentioned in front about different career paths which you might or possible follow within Marine. You can be one day the CEO of Marine. Any questions?
For how many years do you study? How many years does it
Normally
take?
from a scientific point of view,
Yeah.
you have to study, for example, you must have a BSc for 3 years, and then you can go and do your honors or your masters, which is approximately 2 years, and then you can continue and do your doctorate another 3 or 4 years. But requirements normally for scientists is 4 years, even for any other institute. Any other questions?
Where does Marine operate?
Okay, we operate, we have our head office in Windhoek, but our vessels, we have 7 vessels. They are operating in the southern part of Namibia, in the marine, in the sea, close to Oranjemund, Orange River, and a little bit to the north. That's the area. We call that Atlantic 1. Atlantic 1. Yes, Atlantic 1. Yes. Don't ask me about the one.
No, this is just generic information to you. When the government is giving the license to operate, they have to demarcate. They can't just say, no, go explore the whole of Atlantic Ocean and do whatever, because you also have to come. So it has to be done sustainably. So now areas, as they are demarcated, they actually now decide, this is for Marine Namibia. Here, you are only mining within these parameters. So then they give it a name. That's now Atlantic 1. That is our mining license area. Okay? So you guys know what we do, right? What do we do? What do we do? Marine Namibia?
What do we do? What is our main function?
What grade are you, if I may ask?
What do we do?
Grade 10? Yeah. Okay. You have to know this fact. Marine Namibia is a marine diamond mining company. We mine diamonds, and we are the biggest diamond miner in Namibia. We actually contribute about more than 70% of Namibian diamonds. Good diamonds are actually at sea. Beautiful ones. Namibia is known to have gem quality diamonds. Okay? And we are the highest contributor to the fiscus. So our government really depends on us. We contribute more than any other company in Namibia. So it's a fact that you should know. Also, when you are going to reach maybe grade 12 and you see we have bursaries, we do give bursaries to young Namibians. I think last year we gave to 26, if I'm not mistaken. You can be lucky. But then there are also a lot of careers. You can be a geologist, marine environment, like they came from the environmental side of things, because when you mine, you also have to look after the environment that you are mining from. And we have a lot of IT, we have a lot of marine engineers, we have a lot of, now for you to operate that vessel, we have 7 vessels at sea. 7 vessels. Have you ever heard of any of the vessels from Marine Namibia? A name? You heard? No? Okay. The latest, I think it was here in Walvis Bay 3 years ago, 2022. It's called the Benguela Gem. It's the biggest, yes, Benguela Gem. It's the biggest, it's worth 7 billion Namibian dollars. I think that was the biggest asset that Namibia has. Yeah.
Are any of the diamonds like put in museums from you guys?
After the life of what? After it, the vessels or the diamonds? Diamonds are a very precious thing. You can't really put it in a museum. Do you know what diamonds are used for, actually?
Jewelry and
If you give me one answer, okay, jewelry is obvious, but there's another area where the diamonds are being used. And if you answer that correctly, I'm going to reward you for it. What do we use diamonds for? You are in grade 10.
In exchange for money.
Exchange for money, yes. When you buy your jewelries, yes. We're exchanging money. That's how we make money.
So is it like to like operate like some machinery?
With what type of machinery? You kind of have an idea.
Is it not for making marble?
Bubbles.
No, like marbles.
Marbles.
Why are diamonds made?
Do you guys have phones? We have what we call industrial diamonds. Most industrial diamonds. So those machines that you use even to operate on your teeth and whatever. Diamond is the hardest. I'll give you. Go. You have phones.
Without data.
No, you do. I can only reward you handsomely if you go research what diamonds are used for again. And what type of an element is it? Yes. It's kind of a very, that fact you have to look for it. Come back to me, we talk.
Is it a part of a diamond?
Yeah. What do diamonds used for, apart from being on the jewelries? But the beautiful Namibian diamonds is actually it's very, very beautiful. It's good quality. Because when you get diamonds from the sea, they don't have impurities. You just do the polishing. It really doesn't take long. Because it's already like washed. And you know how diamond ended up at sea? No. Oh, you guys? No, it's okay. You're still young. But you won't be young for forever. You have to go read up about facts of the minerals in your country. Yeah? Oh, yes, please. Oh, are you going? Now I can't reward someone. Yes, please. Please. That is your homework. Just come and say I got your answer. Then I'll reward you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the tour. All right.
Thank you, Deb Marine. The learners really enjoyed the session. To also let you guys know that there is sport tours open to the public. The buses are outside. If you would like to join a port tour, please, you are more than welcome. We're going to take a commercial break before we move on to our last speaker for the morning, and then we will continue again after 2 o'clock. Thank you. Testing 1, 2. Testing, testing. Testing 1, 2. Testing, testing 1, 2. Mic check testing. Mic check testing 1, 2. Mic check testing 1, 2. I feel like it's a little bit low, or is it fine? Testing 1, 2. This one is fine. Testing 1, 2. Yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mic testing 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? Can we have all the learners seated, please? Learners, make your way to the educational corner. You are so privileged. You have companies that has offered to give you useful information. Good afternoon once again. I'm Veronica Sakaria. I work at the Namibian Ports Authority. Welcome to the Walvis Bay Maritime Week 2024. This is the educational corner. We had several speakers that have already spoken throughout the morning. And this will be our last speaker for the afternoon. We're going to take a lunch break and then we're going to come back again after 2 o'clock. But also do take note that we have port tours today and tomorrow. There is big buses standing outside. So feel free to join the port tours. They are all welcome to the public and they are free of charge. So without wasting any time, let us welcome Mrs. Cecilia Iambo from NAMDOC. She's going to speak to us about the career opportunities that we can find at NAMDOC. Please clap hands for Mrs. Cecilia. Thank you. Learners, I also would like to let you know that you are live on TV. Feel free to ask questions. Please smile and, you can share the broadcast with your friends. Ask questions, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Greetings to you all. How are we this afternoon? I cannot hear you. Anyway, many moons ago, when I was at primary school and when I was at secondary school, almost of your age, teachers walked in class and greet us all in one go and say, good morning or good afternoon, class. And we all respond in one go and say, good afternoon, teacher. I'm not so sure whether that is the practice. Can I get an indication if that is how your teachers greet you? Oh, okay, that's good. Then I moved to university and lecturers would walk in class and say, good afternoon, student. And we all replied and said, good afternoon, for instance, Mr. Iambo, Dr. Iambo, Prof. Iambo, and all that, because in academics, professionals actually like to be referred to with their titles. After a few years ago, I moved to the working industry at Namtok, where I am at the moment. And there, no formalities in greeting. We hardly use titles. We hardly use names. But one can just walk in the office and say, "Hi, Cecilia. Hello, Cecilia. Can we talk? Can we discuss? Or can we have a conversation?" That is just a short and brief introduction to you, to show you the trends in greetings as you navigate through your career and one day would want to enter the industry and become an employee. As I said, my name is Cecilia Iambo. I'm the Superintendent for Recruitment, OD and Training at Namtok. Just a short brief on my career. I studied some months ago again a BTech in Public Management, majored in Human Resources, at University of Science and Technology. That is now the former Polytechnic of Namibia, and now we call it NAST. I went back again after some few years, and I did my master's in Leadership and Change Management. And I'm currently a PhD candidate at UNAM, doing doctorate in business administration. That is just to inspire you and to see how one can really work hard and achieve whatever that you achieve in your life. For today, I'm actually summoned to talk about career opportunities at Namtok. Just a quick one. Do any of you know what Namtok does or what we do at Namtok? Or what is Namtok? Yes, a sister over there? Say that again. Oh, wow, yes, yes. Anybody else? Thank you so much. Yes, any indication there? Can you just raise up and say that? I cannot hear you. Yes, perfect, perfect. I see there are some indications. Thank you so much. Yes, Namtok, it's standing actually for Namibia Dry Dock and Ship Repair. We are the preferred ship repair company, and we operate along west coast of Africa, providing exceptional services and well-equipped engineering workshops and dry docks capabilities. We actually own 3 floating docks with a with the 3 floating docks, with a combined capacity of 30 tons. Our purpose for today is not to dwell much on what we do, but I'm actually here to explain to you career opportunities in Namtok. What are the careers opportunities for you as learners, for you as aspired future leaders in Namibia? So in total, we have 7 divisions in Namtok. These include 3 support services. The main division where most of our trades or where most of our jobs happen, it's actually, it's called shipyard operations. This is where our production takes place. And we do have support services departments like human resources, we have finance and accounting, we have IT, we have quality assurance management that supports the heart of our operation. Now, for an aspired learners who want to work for Namtok one day, number one, you need to be good in mathematics and physical science because we are kind of an engineering company. And it's for those who would want to take up vocational courses, for instance, in the in vocational institutions around the country, or sometimes abroad. Now, few courses that one can consider if you would want to work for Namtok one day. You can, for instance, work as a mechanical feed antenna. You can work as a boiler maker. You can work as an electrician, or you can work as a welder in fabrication, or in those departments, or in one of those areas. Now, as I said, we are an engineering company. For you to qualify to come and work for us one day, as a student or as a learner, you need to make sure that in your grade 10 and grade 12, you need to do well in mathematics and in physical science, because those are the most subjects that we normally consider. But of course, there are also those ones that are not interested in technical courses. You probably want to become a project manager, you want to become an accountant, or you want to become an HR professional like myself. So those ones you can go to universities that offer business management related courses, study business related management subjects, and come and work for us. Normally what we do, we advertise on social media, but at some point we also take in CVs for those that are coming through at our office. So please be on the lookout on our social media platform or on our website, which is currently under construction. But at one stage, we will make an announcement to that. Sorry. Two, 3 years ago, we had a program that was running, a apprenticeship program, but we have put it on hold for now. However, probably in the next 2 years or 3, we will revamp it and we'll run it again once again. And that is mostly for those that are in grade 11 and grade 12. So please just be on the lookout to see when we advertise for that. Normally what we do, we collaborate with NTA. NTA sponsors and NAMDOC facilitate and coordinate. It's sort of, or it's kind of a bursary that we normally give to learners who want to study vocational related courses. And that I encourage you all to be on the lookout and see if you can qualify. So what you need to do for you to apply for such program, you can just compile your cover letter and your short briefed curriculum vitae and drop it either on our website, on the portal, or you can, depending also on the advert that we are going to send out, when you send it to us, we'll do the shortlisting and we'll invite the successful candidate to come and do that. Okay. That is in short what we have prepared, and those are the few career opportunities in NAMDOC. Do we have any question or any suggestions or comment? I see one over there. Yes.
What are dogs?
Can you please stand up? I cannot hear you.
What are dogs? Dogs.
What are the dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. As I said, we have 3 floating dogs. I'm not so sure whether you have visited our stand, but in short, I'm not from a technical department. As I said, I'm from HR, but the floating dogs are actually the type of machines that normally, that we normally use to undock and dock our vessels, to lift the vessels from the oceans and bring them up so that we can work on them. But for more information on that one, if you really want to see the actual, and if you really want to understand it better, we do have videos running at our stall in the other hall there. So I would encourage that if you want to familiarize yourself to see what really that is happening at the docks, you can just go and visit us there. Our colleagues are there and they will be willing to assist you on that. Yes, over here.
You mentioned earlier that you need to do well in grade 10 and grade 12. Now, I don't really understand. Now, does it depend on the task that you are going to do at NAMDOC? Maybe because maybe what? How can I start? Maybe for me to do boiler making, will I be maybe required to do well in grade 10 as well as grade 12, or is it just maybe for grade 10?
Either ways, we are not NAMPOT, we are NAMDOC, okay?
NAMDOC, sorry.
Yeah, but of course we are a subsidiary for NAMPOT. NAMPOT is the main shareholders for us, and yeah, you are okay. Just a point of correction over there.
Okay.
No, I said since we are in engineering industry, for you to study those engineering related course, one needs to do well in mathematics and in physical science. However, that is not only the requirement. There are further requirements to that. For instance, a vocational trade diploma in welding or in boiler maker. So the prerequisite for that, it's a mathematics and physical science at any of the vocational institution in Namibia. And that is according to NQA qualifications framework. So for you to be admitted, for instance, to go and study at NIMT or to go and study at NAST, UNAM, or anywhere else, engineering related course, you need to be good in mathematics and in physical science.
My last question is, in which department do you offer your training again?
Training?
Yeah, you said you deal with training, right?
Yes, that is in human resources department.
Human resource, HR.
Yes, that is HR. Anybody else? Yes, a hand over there. And there is this one. Ladies first. Ladies first.
So you guys said you are engineering like company, but can I also get like a job like maybe as a like in finance and something, like but which type of careers though?
Yes, definitely, definitely. I told you in total we have 7 divisions, and among those we have finance department. We normally call it finance and supply chain department, and that is where most of the accountants do. Now, for you, that is really not a technical skill. That is a support services to the production department. So what you need to do is for you to study very hard and ensure that you meet the minimum requirement for you to go and study at one of the university, either inside the country or abroad, and you can come in and work as an accountant. Now, the minimum requirements mostly for jobs in accounting and finance, it depends at the level. Entry level, some of them, they ask for a certificate, national certificate in accounting and finance. Advanced, of course, sometimes do ask for a diploma, a degree, a master's. It all depends the level of a position that you are applying for. Thank you. Yes, the gentleman in red.
I wanted to ask, what is the minimum age you need to start working for NAMDOC?
That is not a NAMDOC requirement, minimum entry or minimum age. That is in terms of the Labor Act. You must be 18 years old and higher for you to work or for you to become an employee.
Okay, second question. Let's say I'm studying university. Can I still work and study at the same time for NAMDOC?
Say that again?
Let's say I'm studying in university. Will I still be able to work for NAMDOC while studying?
Definitely, definitely. In my introduction, I just said I'm a PhD candidate. I am a full-time employee, of course, but then I'm doing my part-time studies with UNAM. So during the day, between 7:30 and 4:30, I go to work, and after that, I go from 6 up until 9 o'clock in the evening, attend my classes online. Yes, definitely you can do that. You can work and you can study at the same time. And that is what we are even encouraging people to do. Because in actual fact, or in the real world, you need a combination of experience and qualification for you to be the ideal candidate for some of those specific positions.
Does NAMDOC offer job shadowing?
Not at the moment, but that is in the pipeline. Of course, we have a number of programs that are approved. So we are currently working on some of those procedures. We just want to put the paperwork in place, and at a later stage, we'll definitely introduce it to everybody. And as I said, we'll normally use our website to launch some of those initiatives, and also social media platform for us to send our advert if those comes up. But it's something that is in the pipeline. A hand over there.
Okay, the question is, does NAMDOG offer internship for candidates to maybe get some more experience?
Yes. At the moment, I'm speaking under correction because I do not have the figures at the top of my head. But of course, I have 2 graduates in my departments that are reporting to me. One studied at UNAM, the other one studied at NAST. We also have a number of them under accounting and finance. And as I said, those are some of the initiatives. Same applies to that one. It's not really yet officially want to say implemented for us to make a call on the community out there, but we do, and we are just trying to formalize the program and ensure that everybody got the opportunity to apply.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Please ask. I'm seeing the beautiful ladies here. What do you want to do when you finish your school? Huh? Which school is this? Flamingo. What do you want to do when you grow up? Accountant. Oh, okay. Quite interesting. My husband is an accountant by professional. You good with mathematics and accounting? You love numbers? You need to be good with numbers if you want to become an accountant. Say that again. Huh? She apparently loves numbers, but numbers don't love her.
Okay, there's a question here.
Okay.
Sorry.
As a accountant working for NAMDOG, what is the minimum wage?
That's a very difficult question, but quite interesting. Some of those information are confidential. But should you apply one day to NAMDOC and you become the most suitable candidate for a position, we'll definitely brief you before you sign the offer, the minimum wage of that specific industry, for that specific job. But maybe to generalize your answer, minimum wages for positions or for jobs are regulated in terms of the Labor Act. And there are industries, there are industry scales, or there are industries blankets that one can indicate. For an entry position, in general now, accounting and finance, it's in a range of 10,000 to 20,000, depending on the company. That is now for a very, very minimum entry position, between 10,000 to 20,000 per month.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. There's a hand over there.
Oh.
What is the most difficult situations that you've been in as an industry, and how did you solve it?
There, say that again.
Like, what is the most difficult situation you have been in as an industry, and how did you solve it? Like, how did you manage to overcome it?
Such a smart girl. I will answer that from HR point of view. I said I'm an HR professional. That is the area that I specialize. And I mostly worked with recruitment, OD, and training. So the most difficult situation that one can encounter in the workplace, especially if you are a woman or if you are a lady, and you go and work in a male-dominant environment, men will always want to undermine you and underestimate your capability, your skills, and your experience. But as a woman, you need to put your feet down, and you also need to take a position and make your voice heard over the table or around the table, and just prove to them that you know better. As long as you know you have what it takes, as long as you know you have facts, as long as you know you have evidence, then you take your position. you at times work in technical environment. There is a difference between those who studied technical courses and those who studied management courses from a psychological point of view. Technical people, they are designed or they are wired in a manner that they work with machine and they hardly interact with human nature or human beings. Yet, us from the human point of view, or us from now management related course, we interact more often, we look at the different types of personalities and all that. But what really can help you to overcome all that is just for you to know the tactics and the strategy on how to accommodate different people from different background, different personalities and all walks of life. And then it can become easier for you.
Thank you.
Yes, I like the conversation.
Earlier you said that you work in the human resource department.
You are right.
Okay, how long does it take to study for that?
How long?
How long does it take to study for that course?
Oh, for human resource management.
Yes.
It depends where you are studying. Different universities have different requirements. I know locally here, most of the academic institution, I think for now they ask for 3 years for a national diploma and 4 years for a degree. And thereafter you can go back for your master's if you so wish for 18 months. And of course your PhD for 3 months locally. But that all depends on the university where you are studying. I know, for instance, a colleague of us who went to study his master's in SA, and he only did it for a year and not for 18 months as we are currently doing in Namibia.
My last question.
All right.
Does NAMDOC offer scholarships or bursaries?
I think I answered that just a while ago.
Oh.
Not at the moment, but it's one of the initiatives that we are looking at. That is in our, that is in the pipeline. And as I said, once we finalize everything, we'll send an advert out there. Just be on the lookout on our social media platform and also on the website. We normally post it, and sometimes in the local newspapers.
Thank you.
As an HR, how flooded do you think is the engineering department of NAMDOC?
Flooded, what do you mean?
Populated, like how many people would you say are going into the engineering department of NAMDOC?
I do not have the exact number, but it's over the years. I've seen quite interesting number of young ones taking up courses through vocational institution, especially those ones that specialize in engineering related courses. But to bring it in a NAMDOC context, as I said, the heart of our operation is engineering services. At the moment we have close to 800 employees, and 99, if not 80% of that are falling under engineering services. So there are quite a number. I don't have the exact number, but I would say quite a number.
Now, in the future 5 years, would you say there will be space for more engineers to come into the industry?
Definitely, definitely. Remember, nowadays we are talking about oil and gas in the Namibian context. We are also talking about green hydrogen and all that. So those are all the opportunities that will definitely come and expand what we are currently doing, expand our operations. And that means when we expand our operations, then more job and more opportunities for the youth and for the young ones in Namibia.
Thank you.
Yes, let's have a conversation.
As technology is enhancing now, will you guys have more machines or more labor? Will you guys be more labor intensive or?
Um, at the moment, I would say 50-50. Of course, we are operating on a fast pace, and most of our clients come from international. Then that means for us to keep our feet up and for us to keep up with the current trends, obviously we also need to up our games in terms of technology. Definitely, it's a 50-50 to say.
So the low qualified will be outcompeted now, while they still remaining.
Say that again. Just put the mic close to your mouth.
The low qualified
Mm.
that are employed, will they be unemployed now?
Definitely not. We are not in a business of increasing high unemployment. When technology takes over, as a responsible employer, we will definitely come up with initiatives and ways as well as means to see how we can advance and how we can how we can accommodate those who will be probably disadvantaged by the new technologies. But as I'm saying, we are interested in new trends, in benchmarking to see how best we can to ensure that we accommodate everybody. But as a responsible employer, we are not in the business of, increasing the current problems that is already there in terms of high unemployment in the country. Yes, my sister over there.
Thank you.
When was NAMDOC formed?
2006. Initially, before it became NAMDOC, it operated as EBH, okay? And after that, NAMPOD comes into the picture, and it was officially named as NAMDOC again in 2006. But it has been there with a different names and with a different shareholders before this.
Okay, thank you.
I would just like to find out what opportunities are there for environmental management graduates in NAMDOC?
We do have a department for health, safety, security, and environment. That is where most of our safety guys fall, the fire watches, and the environmental coordinators. So I think we recently taken one young boy from university. But yeah, all environmental related, health, security, and safety, they are falling under that division. We have a division on that.
Ma'am, will ma'am able to name all the 7 divisions for me, please?
You want me to mention, did you visit our stall in the other hall? Okay, HR, human capital, finance and supply chain, shipyard operations, infrastructure and technical services, quality assurance management / IT, it's combined, and then commercial and marketing departments. Those are the 7 that we are having. I hope I did not omit one. Yes, a sister
Thank
over
you.
there. NAMDOC.
Okay, just hold on.
Yeah, it is. As I said, majority shares, it's NAMPOT. And the remaining ones, it's owned by Namibian, it's actually owned by a group of Namibian businessmen and businesswomen, probably. It's a consortium.
In case of casualties, do you help compensate the family members of the deceased?
Yeah, it's one of the benefits that we have. Quite interesting. Who want to become an engineer? Who want to become an HR professional? What do you want to become? Finance. Quite interesting. Any more question, comment?
Is NAMDOC a parastatal, or is it like a partner?
It's a partnership. Mm. If we do not have any more questions, then I think it's time for me to round up on my conversation. To wrap up on what we just discussed, I just would like to thank NAMPOT specifically for giving us this opportunity to interact with the young ones. And to the young ones, thank you so much for making time to come and to listen or to have a conversation on this one. From NAMDOC point of view, we really appreciate you, and we hope that one day we will meet in NAMTalk. And I would be glad to take in some of you, either as graduates or as employees at one stage. So my encouragement to you is that as learners, the future is in your hands. Please navigate, study very hard, and ensure that you become a responsible citizen, not only in your family, but also in your country, and make a difference, especially among those vulnerable communities. I thank you. Thank you, Veronica, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Iambo. Learners, we have come to the end of our session for the morning. Please note that we still have sessions in the afternoon starting 2 o'clock. But for the meantime, feel free to join the port tours. The tours are open to the public. The buses are outside, those 4 big buses standing outside. You are more than welcome to join any bus. It's free of charge. The tours are on today and tomorrow, and the educational talk is still on today and tomorrow. You can join us again at 2 o'clock. Thank you.